I want you to understand something that sometimes we don't remind ourselves often is that we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And honestly, for me, I always get confused because I realize like sometimes I won't have control over certain situations. Like I won't have control if I'm driving and a tree branch fell on my car, you know? Like and if I decided to get mad because it scratched my paint, that's on me. I had control over my reaction. Now, the idea of why we should be understanding who Allah is because it's therapy. Literally, it saves, it heals, it helps us grow and think outside of the box. Like being lost is all perspective. And I actually experienced this last month. I'm not going to dive too deep into the story, but there was a situation where I felt like I had no control. And honestly, I did. I had control, obviously, because I got through it, but just in that moment, I just felt completely useless. And I was praying to Allah that, like, actually, before I started praying, I should say, I was just in my mind. I was conjuring up scenarios that I was lost and that I had no hope. And I kept spiraling over just the idea of being lost. And Alhamdulillah, Allah put in my heart to like pray and make du'as and realize like He's the only person who can help get me out of this. And Alhamdulillah, I did. And so getting through that stuff that really was causing me to overthink, it just made me realize being lost is literally a perspective. And so if you're going through like the same things, if you're going through a trial that's really causing you to overthink even yourself, your intelligence, or just overall your personality of who you are, like just take a step back and remember who Allah is. Whenever you're going through something that makes you really question life, really question your Lord, you have to just sit down and just really think about where you're at and think about what you can control. A lot of times you probably hear this same message about sit down and write a list on what you can't control and then write a list on what you can control. And it helps you put in perspective of who you are and what you are in charge of. And I'm telling you, wallahi, it helps you get better perspective. And overall, I feel like it's not easy too because sometimes we feel like our trials are really confusing and it makes us be, I'll be honest, like when I was Muslim, when I took my shahada and I basically was really conjuring up the idea like, okay, this is what I'm going to have to do since I'm Muslim. Before that, I wasn't going to Allah like I am now, but I just realized the therapy you get when it comes to trusting Allah is so profound because He never fails, He never disappoints you, and He never leaves you empty handed. I remember when I first moved to Detroit, I was already experiencing certain hardships, and for me, I kept reminding myself, like, Allah wouldn't have allowed me to move to a new city out of my hometown just to leave me like stranded. And He didn't, Alhamdulillah. So if there's anything you get out of this video, it's just making sure that you trust Allah. Don't forget who you are. And remember that when you really lock in and you start prioritizing Allah, like make that a personal hobby. You don't even have to go big and beyond. Like, I'll be the first to say, like, you don't need a big routine. You don't need a big routine to help conjure up your mind to be the best you. I'll be honest, my routine is simple. I wake up, say Alhamdulillah because Allah gave me life again. I pray Fajr. I end up making food. I work out. I listen to a podcast, and then I make YouTube content. And it's simple. It's simple stuff. Like you don't need to have like a crazy routine that you see all these other people doing because how I see it, your routine increases based on the small stuff. So like all these people who are content creators or you see or who you follow who have these great routines, it's because they literally started small. They didn't just start like with 50,000 different routines all at once in the beginning. And so for me, I could say even my routines have changed because being with my mom and then not having my own place, things are a little bit different now, especially with my routine. So it's like you have to start small. So start small with Allah and see how your iman, your deen, your ibadah all increase. Like you have to believe in yourself, you have to believe in Allah. If you don't believe in Allah, like you make du'as for when you're begging him to help you get out of something, then it's going to be very difficult for you. Try making it a hobby to also say thank you when you are going through a hardship, because Allah loves those who are the most grateful and humbled. Like, I feel like when I started changing my perspective on honestly thanking Allah, like, thank you, Allah, for not allowing me to get that job. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. It really helped increase my faith because it just reminds you that you're trusting Allah. When you trust Allah, you start trusting yourself. So you have to conjure up this idea that everything is literally perspective. When you continuously put your trust and faith in Allah, your mindset shifts into everything's going exactly my way. So that's why when I was saying being lost is a perspective, it's because if you really want to inspire yourself to feel lost, that's the feeling you're going to get. In the book Think and Grow Rich, like I was reading that, I finished that last month ago, and if anything, what I kept getting out of it when I was reading it was that it all comes from thought. Every single thing that's been created was a thought. So it's like when you have the thought of being lost, that's the reality you're going to inspire. If you have the thought of overcoming, it doesn't matter what you're going through, you will always find a way to overcome. So you have to understand too, when you trust Allah, everything that comes with that literally is the blueprint of how you should live your life. Never doubt your intelligence. And even if people are doubting you because of a way you are acting, so say that you are acting a certain way, and then you started changing your hobbies, changing your mental to be a better person, a better Muslim, like don't feel like, because you're going to have eyes on you, but don't feel like it's a bad thing when you start changing instantly or when you start having the mindset to change. Don't stay stuck in a crowd that's unwelcoming. When you feel it in your body to not be included with like a certain crowd anymore that you know is not good for you, you have to trust that. Trust your gut when it comes to that, because you're abusing your body when it's telling you signs like this is not for us. This is not going to help us grow. It's not going to help us get close to Allah. So when you put your faith into Allah and understand who He is, then you will know that your Lord is always there with you and He will always want the best for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys also, do your daily du'as, have 10 du'as that you do daily. Even that helps change your perspective too. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely plan on making more, and Assalamu alaikum. Goodbye.